Alright guys, how's it going? Uh, we're going to be talking about the uh, towards the end of the Middle Ages in Europe's modern history. Um, so let's kind of go ahead and get into it. We're going to be learning about the scientific revolution. So the scientific revolution happens towards the mid to late 1500s. You're going to get guys like Galileo during this time period who changed the thinking. Um, and it's really revolutionary and it challenges a lot of the ideas of the time period. There's a link there for you to watch as well. This kind of goes into it, and you get men such as Isaac Newton, who, there's a plague of their own during this time period, and Newton is bored, and he will create calculus. And he also comes up with a theory of gravity. So we have these kind of ideas surfacing during this time period. You also have what's called the Enlightenment happening shortly after this. This is characterized by the use of reason and the scientific method. Um, Men such as Jefferson here and Benjamin Franklin, they would have been a part of this movement. Just kind of thinking outside the box and questioning different ideas. This becomes really popular during this time period. Skip through this. Okay. So then we get the French Revolution. And the French Revolution can be directly attributed to the American Revolution because America goes over to France and we're asking France for money, and France gives us money to support our revolution. But this causes the French to go into debt, and they're not able to pay off their debt, and they even ask the United States for money, and we tell them no. So this debt leads to essentially a depression, and people can't buy bread, they can't support their family. So the common people, the commoners, they overthrow their government. They're tired of the king and the queen living a lavish lifestyle. The home that the king and the queen are living in is worth $1 billion. In fact, if we go to France, we can actually see it real quick. So let's go to if we go to France, so there it is. This is the palace they lived in, and let's see if we can get a good look at it. So it's this huge garden. It's got a gold roof. Absolutely beautiful. It's worth checking out. Anyway, it's worth checking out. Pretty neat. So anyway, this leads to the French Revolution, in which thousands of people are killed by the guillotine, and you can see the guillotine right there, what it looked like. At the end of this, they do end up getting a king again, kind of circular. So they start with a king and they finish with a king, and that king's going to be essentially Napoleon Bonaparte. During this time period, we also get a rise in what's called nationalism, and that's essentially pride in your country. You're very proud to be a part of a country. So we see this, after 9/11 here in the United States. Everyone is very proud to be an American. You also get the Industrial Revolution. We get the steam engine. We get in industry such as factories and mass producing. They're now able to mass produce clothing, textiles, and this leads to cheaper goods. It leads to quicker transportation. You have the steam engine ship. You have the train right here, and it will change the world forever. We also get the rise of what's called Imperialism. So that's essentially you would go control another country and those goods would go strictly to you. So let's say the United States controlled Brazil. We would be able to control everything about Brazil, their economy. We could, all of their supplies, whether they had chocolate or whatever, they could ship it directly to us. So this is another thing that's rising during this time period. You can see here, Britain, they controlled most of the world. They controlled these big countries in Africa. They control over here. So there's an old saying that the sun never sets on the British Empire because no matter where you're at in the world, Britain owns part of that part of the world. Okay, and that's it.